Welcome back to Brooklyn. I'm really thrilled that you're here. Today, I think I just want to spend some time with you in the home studio, taking care of some small business tasks and getting moving on that third community piece. I am feeling really good about today. The heat wave finally broke. It was like, oh my God. It felt like over 100 degrees, 80% humidity, and our AC could not keep up. So it was like 90 degrees inside the apartment. But now, today, it feels like spring. It's like 70 and beautiful. And I'm opening the windows, I can hear the birds, and it's just rejuvenating. But first things first, I have an order that I need to get out the door. So let's go ahead and get that done. If you're new here, welcome. I am Alexis. I'm a full-time artist here in Brooklyn, New York, and on this channel I share my art and its inspiration, and honestly, a little bit of everything. Small business ownership, activism, my love of New York City, and if that sounds like something that you're into, I invite you to stick around. I once had a mentor say that we should not keep older products in our shop, so we should be taking down anything that's been up there for 2 years or whatever. And you know, I don't know if I agree with that, because every time I take these portraits out of my shop, somebody emails me about them. So it's been this constant yo-yo for the past couple of years of me taking them down and then people requesting them, so I have to put them right back up. So perhaps this is a little bit of encouragement to take advice from those who you admire with a grain of salt and ultimately do what's best for you. And perhaps that makes sense if your audience is perhaps a little stagnant, but I don't know, man. I hope to always kind of find new people and to widen our community and to have conversations with more and more. So I don't know if that's the case. I think it's worth some thought. So in 2020, when I wasn't teaching remotely at the kitchen table, because I did that for like almost 2 years, I was creating those portraits, and like en masse, I had like a whole conveyor belt system going. I mean, it was like tracing and cutting and just like, oh my gosh, it was really intense. And then when I started making art, I really wanted art to be affordable. Because I do think there's something to affordability, but I realized now that I like grossly undercharged. And I know I've talked about this on here before, but like I was selling those for like 36, and they were like many layers of paper, hand cut and assembled and framed. And yo, we gotta price our work fairly for ourselves. And so that's something that I still struggle with time to time, but man, that entire year, I mean, I think a lot of small businesses had a really successful 2020. I know I did, and it was like the first glimpse of, oh wait, this resonates, and maybe this could be something, which was really cool and really exciting. But after it was all said and done, I was a little burnt out because it was just a lot of creating the same stuff and cleaning frames. Oh my goodness, I cleaned thousands of frames that year, and honestly, it just didn't bring a lot of joy. When you think about like a creative practice, I felt like it really pigeonholed me into what I was able to do, what I had the time to do outside of my career, teaching at the kitchen table at the time. And so I'm so grateful for that year, but it really, I think, set the stage for a long period of reflection and a long period of trying to figure out what exactly I wanted this to be. And I still don't have it completely figured out, but I think I am closer to having it figured out. And it's something that feels more authentic to who I am. So these like larger community pieces that I've been working on, that was something I didn't have the courage to do for a long time. And I think I'll talk about that in a video coming up here soon, a little bit more in depth, if you will. But I think that sometimes we have to step away from what is perceived success to find ways to be truly successful. And I know for me that meant stepping away from these portraits of well-known figures and celebrated people, people that I admire and wanted to share with the world. That stemmed from the practice of that portrait every day for 2 months for Black History Month, Women's History Month. That's what started this whole thing. And I know we've talked about that here before, but I was a part of an artist cohort a while ago, and one of the things that she said that I had kind of been spinning with in my mind, knowing that that personal project of practicing the hair in those portraits led to this really successful branch of my business, is that oftentimes the personal projects, the passion projects, reveal your next steps. And we have to sometimes step away from the avenues that are a source of income to allow the space for the creativity to find out what's next. And so, you know, for a variety of reasons we're not going to get into right now, it's taken me a long time to get there, but I am truly so grateful every time these portraits sell. And I take them off of my website no less than 20 times a year because they just kind of sit there, and then I kid you not, every time I take them off, within a couple of weeks, I get an email from someone being like, yo, where'd those portraits go? And I end up putting them right back up. So those are just some thoughts I have on small business and creativity. And I know that it can, for me, it felt kind of counterintuitive to have a business tied to my creative practice, because my creative practice is really such a personal, but I always think about Rick Rubin talking about this river from the universe, and if you're able to tap into it. And so, and this is a word I don't use because I just don't like it, but in that way I do feel like it's a little sacred, and a connection with something bigger than ourselves. And I really love that aspect of it. And I think that moving away from those portraits into what I am moving my art practice into was a necessary action. And so I don't know, those are my thoughts. But it is really nice when an order comes in, because every order helps me put food on the table and then keep our lights on. And I don't know, I'll say it 1,000 times, and maybe I'll always say this. Maybe I'll say this until I'm no longer here, but I don't know how this pans out. And I think sometimes that's really scary, because I am someone who thrives on stability because of past traumas and a lot of instability. However, I think I'm reaching a point in life where I'm finding it to be really exciting. Because if I'm being true with myself, if I'm being honest, I always wanted more spontaneity, more room for, I don't know, magic, things to unfold in a surprising, really exciting way. And when you're holding on to a clear way of things and how they need to happen, you cut all of that out. And without that, what's the purpose of being here? I don't know, I feel like I'm finding the magic again, as whatever that sounds. I'm really excited, and I'm really grateful, and it took me a really long time to get here. Okay, I'm getting a little emotional, it's okay. I haven't gotten emotional on YouTube in a minute. But I think when everything falls apart, I was telling a friend recently, I was like, I hit rock bottom after I had my stroke and I left my career, and I was just not sure how it was gonna work out. And there's a lot of guilt and a lot of really heavy feelings that came with that. But last night I was walking with Mario back from the grocery store, and I turned to him and I was like, I'm just really content. And I think that's what makes me emotional, because I didn't know if I would ever get here, and here we are. and the gratitude I have that coexists with that fear. I don't know if that fear is ever going to go away, but leaning into the excitement of that fear, I guess. But I don't know, I'm just really content. And I hope that if you find yourself in a space that feels devastating, that you find the courage to keep going. Because I don't know, man. It's really great to be here. So, anyways, I think that turned into a lot more than I anticipated. But I'm really happy. I'm content, and I have greater peace than I've ever had in my life. And that took a lot of deep like healing from lots of things. So thankful to have had the time to do that, even if it came through what was at the time a devastating circumstance. It is Friday, and listen, I kept telling myself I was gonna get this video out tonight. I don't know if I'm gonna get it out tonight. With it being Friday, I think I'm gonna treat myself to a nice coffee because I can. And I'm gonna go grab that from down the street, and then when we get back, let's do some work on this third community piece that I'm really excited about. Sometimes before I share a clip like the last one, I have a moment of like, oh man, should I? But here's the thing, I'm always going to be 100% real with you. And sometimes it's like really upbeat and exciting and all of the really good things. And other times it's a little bit more introspective and mellow, but that's just the vibe we're vibing with today. And so if you're down to spend a little bit of time talking about real life and real experiences and the ups and downs of it all, I'm really glad that you're here. All right, we're into tomorrow. When I was finishing up with the dog, the storage got full, and so I had to spend several hours kind of clearing out things. That's taken care of. It shouldn't happen again, but the dog is finished, and I think it turned out really cute. I'll show you. I grew up watching 101 Dalmatians. It was like my favorite Disney movie, because I love dogs, and I thought that the illustrations were always so cute of all of the dogs, and I've always wanted to make a dog walker. So with this piece, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a dog walker with a bunch of dogs and kind of scratch that itch that I've had for a long time, and I'm really excited about it. But that's where we are today, and we're smack dab in the middle of another heat wave, which is excellent. The AC is doing the best that she can. It's a little warm in here, but we're gonna make it work. And yeah, we're all set up. But I wanted to let you know I finally finished The Indigenous Peoples' History of the United States of America. 10 out of 10 would recommend it. It was a brilliant book, and the scope of the book was just phenomenal. I think the thing that I appreciated the most was the consistent connection that she drew between the actions and behaviors and the mindset and even the terms that were used by the American military against our indigenous people and how those persist to today. It was a pretty anti-military text, which I'm down for, so I really appreciated it. And I think that sometimes there's power in clearly drawing connections for people, and I think that this is one of those texts. So I don't know, I loved it. And then next up is a book called Salt Houses that Mario gifted me for my birthday. It was just, I don't know, a week ago. Holy cow, it was a week ago. And this is a book that I've had on my list. It's about a Palestinian family and it follows them through multiple generations. And I'm curious if it's going to be in some way a little bit like Homegoing, which I really, really loved. So that's where we are on books. But I have not been into an audiobook. I think I'm just needing like, I don't know, more mindless stuff because my brain's feeling a little overwhelmed. So I think I'm gonna put in a podcast. I've been really enjoying Otherworld. It's a little spooky, a little scary. You know, I love that kind of stuff. So I think that's what I'm gonna start with today, and we'll see where we go from there. But man, thanks for spending a couple days in the workspace with me. It's too hot to be outside, and now that this sketch is done, it's time to really get going on this. I wanna see how quickly I can get it done because I really wanna get the first 4 done, but I wanted to mention last thing, and then I swear we're gonna get back to work. I received notification yesterday that Fiber Arts Now accepted We Belong to Each Other for their October issue. They're doing a paper issue, and I submitted my work, and I am so thrilled that it was accepted. And I don't know, man, I really think that there's something to creating what is within. I know, whatever. I think I kind of talked about this yesterday. I think that there's something to following that inspiration because I feel really, really grateful. I haven't applied to many shows. I think I've applied to 4 and I've been accepted so far into 3, which is tremendous. I need to apply to 1,000 so I can get 800 rejections and the 200 confirmations or whatever it might be. Maybe it's only 5 confirmations out of the 1,000, but I really want to keep finding the courage to put myself out there. And I am going to do a Artist Way a year after catch up, and I have lots and lots of thoughts that I can't wait to share with you there. But let's get going today because I don't know, I'm really excited to see how this piece starts to come together. We're on to our first couple of people, and that feels really good. It's so funny in my morning pages over and over again, like for over a year now, it's been like slow and steady. And as I'm working through this today, I'm just like, all right, just like slow and steady, get things done. And I think that that's fine. I'm just really enjoying the process, trying to figure out the colors and the vibe that I want. We're all about vibes here. All right, we finished the mom for that little duo, and I think I'm gonna wrap up here. I really wanna get this vlog out before too many more days. This last week has just been a week. But if you've made it this far, I want to thank you for spending your time with me. And if you found enjoyment here, I would really appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up. That helps YouTube know to share it with other people like you who might find some enjoyment here. And if you have not yet subscribed but would like to follow along as I share my life as a full-time artist here in Brooklyn, New York, I would be truly honored. And lastly, whatever time of day you watch this, I hope it's been a kind one. Until next time.